Monet's Water Lilies, painted late in his life, invites us into a world without edges, a pond where time dissolves and light dances on water. These aren't just flowers. They're pastel moments caught between water and sky, colour and reflection. Monet painted what he saw and what he felt. The surface shimmers, ripples and shifts, showing us nature's quiet pulse. No horizon, no beginning or end. Just layers of paint, light and feeling. A meditation on the fragile beauty of stillness. Water Lilies is an invitation to pause, to look closer, and to find peace in the gentle flow of light and life. Painted in 1931, Dali's The Persistence of Memory invites us into a dreamscape where time bends, melts, and loses all meaning. These clocks aren't ticking. They're melting away, as if time itself is dissolving under the weight of the unconscious mind. The scene is eerily still. A barren shore, a distorted face, shadows stretching long and strange. It's a place where reality and fantasy blur. Even time decays here, with ants crawling over one clock, reminding us of mortality and the fragile nature of existence. The persistence of memory asks us to question time, reality, and the limits of our own perception, inviting us to dream, wonder, and maybe lose track of time altogether. Painted in 1881, Renoir's Luncheon of the Boating Party is a celebration of light, laughter, and the simple joy of good company on a sunny afternoon. Here, friends mingle, some deep in conversation, others caught in moments of quiet reflection. Each face tells its own story, full of warmth and life. The colours swirl. Soft fabrics, glinting glass, dappled sunlight filtering through the awning. Renoir's brush dances, capturing the easy elegance of a carefree day. Behind them, the river glistens, inviting escape and adventure. A reminder that this moment is both timeless and fleeting. Luncheon of the Boating Party isn't just a painting. It's a snapshot of happiness, friendship, and the shimmering beauty of everyday life. Painted in 1872, Monet's impression, Sunrise, gave its name to an entire art movement, Impressionism, changing how we see and paint the world. The rising sun blazes orange, barely more than a glowing orb breaking through the mist. It's less about detail and more about feeling, the fleeting light at dawn. Boats drift silently on shimmering water, their shapes blurred and softened. A moment caught in movement, not frozen in time. Monet's brush dances freely, capturing the atmosphere rather than precise forms. It's a painting that feels alive, breathing with the morning air. Impression. Sunrise invites us to see the world anew, not as fixed and detailed, but as ever-changing light and colour, captured in a single beautiful moment. Painted in 1891, Monet's grain stack, Sunset, is less about the stack itself and more about how light transforms it, glowing orange and pink as the day fades. The haystack stands simple and still, but Monet's brush captures the fleeting moment when sunlight turns the ordinary extraordinary. Shadows stretch long, blending cool blues and purples with the warmth of the setting sun. It's a quiet conversation between light and dark. Above, the sky gently fades from gold to soft lavender, wrapping the scene in calm and quiet. Grain stack, Sunset, is a meditation on time, light, and the beauty found in everyday moments, seen through Monet's eyes, always waiting for the next shimmer. Painted in 1876, Renoir's Bal du Moulin de la Galette is all sunlight and sound. A Sunday afternoon in Montmartre, where music spills into the air and time softens at the edges. The crowd moves, but gently, as if Renoir caught them between steps. Dresses swirl, shadows flicker. Everyone seems close, even if no one's looking at us. Light is the true subject here. It slips through the leaves like lace, brushing shoulders, flickering across faces. Renoir doesn't define forms. He lets them blur, as if memory were painting the scene instead of the eye. They're not famous. They're friends, models, locals, Renoir's circle. Laughing, leaning in, looking past us. It's not staged. It's not distant. It's just happening. Bal du Moulin de la Galette isn't a performance. It's an invitation to linger, to listen, to remember the feeling of a slow afternoon, full of movement, full of light, already slipping away. Rembrandt's The Night Watch, painted in 1642, is anything but still. It's a portrait of a militia, but also a burst of life, frozen in shadow and gold. Captain Franz Banning-Cock steps forward, hand raised. His lieutenant turns beside him, lit in a sharp white, both commanding and caught mid-motion. But this isn't a stiff, orderly group. The men scatter across the canvas, loading muskets, turning their heads, caught in blur and movement. Some barely emerge from the dark. Others gleam in gold leaf. Near the center, a girl, too young to fight, glows in the dark. She's symbolic. A mascot, maybe. A ghost, maybe. A bright interruption. Rembrandt didn't just paint people. He painted time. The tension between order and chaos, ceremony and life as it really happens. The Night Watch isn't really a night scene. And it isn't a watch. It's a masterpiece about movement, about stepping into the light and leaving something behind in the dark. This is Guernica by Pablo Picasso. Painted in 1937 in response to the bombing of the Basque town of Guernica during the Spanish Civil War. It isn't a scene of peace, but of chaos. A world shattered in black, white, and grey. Picasso painted it in just a few weeks, turning grief into a mural over 25 feet wide. Every figure screams, yet no sound escapes the canvas. A mother wails over her dead child. A horse collapses under a spear. A bull stands unmoved, a symbol of brutality or of Spain itself. There's no colour, no comfort, only the stark language of suffering. When Guernica was first shown in Paris, it became a cry against war. Today, it hangs in Madrid's Museo Reina Sofia, still unflinching, still echoing the pain that words can't hold. This is The Kiss by Gustav Klimt, painted between 1907 and 1908 during his golden period. A man and a woman kneel on a flowered meadow, wrapped in a cloak of gold. Time seems to pause. The world dissolves into light. Klimt used oil paint mixed with real gold leaf, inspired by the Byzantine mosaics he saw in Ravenna, Italy. The gold doesn't just shine, it sanctifies. His robe is covered in bold rectangles, hers in soft circles and blossoms, two different worlds, woven together. Her eyes are closed, her body turned toward his kiss, a moment between surrender and serenity. His hands hold her gently, reverently. When the kiss was first shown in Vienna, it was instantly adored. Today, it hangs in the Österreichische Gallery Belvedere. Still glowing more than a century later, a timeless vision of love made divine. Painted between 1884 and 1886, Georges Seurat's A Sunday Afternoon on the island of La Grande Jatte is calm, quiet, and calculated down to the last dot. It looks like leisure. Parisians gathered on the banks of the Seine. But look closer. No one speaks. No one moves. Every figure is locked in place, as if time paused mid-breath. Seurat used pointillism. Thousands of tiny dots of pure colour placed side by side. From far away, they mix in the eye, not on the brush. It's science meeting sensation. Structure beneath serenity. At the front, elegance. A woman with a parasol, a man in top hat, but also a monkey on a leash, a girl picking flowers, a boat slipping past. It's a puzzle, a stage, a dream with too much distance. Surat captures a modern moment, not with emotion, but with control. This isn't just a Sunday in the sun. It's what happens when the world becomes still. And we're left wondering what it means. Painted in 1875, Monet's Woman with a Parasol captures a fleeting moment. A breeze, a stroll, a quiet afternoon in the countryside. Madame Monet stands tall, the sun catching her white dress. The parasol shades her face, both shelter and ornament, casting a soft shadow over cool determination. Behind her, young Jean Monnet chases the wind, a small figure framed by the sky and wild grass. He's less defined, almost a whisper, a fleeting shadow of childhood. Monet's brush never still, the grass and clouds swirl around them, alive with movement. The scene is less about detail and more about light, shifting, shimmering, dissolving. This painting isn't posed or planned. It's a breath caught between moments. Woman with a Parasol is Monet's love letter to light, to family, and to the fragile beauty of now. Painted in the late 1470s for a Medici wedding, Botticelli's Primavera is spring wrapped in myth, draped in silk, and almost completely silent. At the heart of the scene is Venus, goddess of love, calm and still. She parts the grove with her presence alone. Above her, blindfolded Cupid aims without looking. Because in this garden, love isn't always clear. On the right, the wind god Zephyrus chases the nymph Chloris. From her mouth, flowers bloom, a transformation. From pursuit to rebirth. She becomes Flora, goddess of spring. To the left, the three graces dance in a circle, beauty, chastity, and pleasure in motion. Mercury, messenger god, stands apart, parting the clouds with his staff, clearing the air, keeping peace. Botticelli painted over 500 plant species here, all real, all symbolic, fertility, renewal, the fragile promise of a new beginning. Primavera means spring, but it's more than a season. It's a myth about becoming, about love that wounds, transforms, and finally begins again. Painted in 1784, Jacques-Louis David's Oath of the Hirashi is all lines and tension, a frozen moment of loyalty, duty, and the cost of both. Three brothers swear an oath to their father. Their bodies lean forward, rigid with purpose. Their arms reach, but their faces are already distant, bound not by love but by obligation. Their father holds the blades like relics. He doesn't speak, he offers. To the side, women grieve, silent, slumped, and forgotten. One is sister to the warriors, another engaged to a man they're sworn to kill. The oath has already broken them. The setting is bare. Roman arches, stone floor, no distractions. The drama is human. Ancient story, modern warning. David gave the revolution an image of sacrifice, of patriotism, and of tragedy. The Oath of the Hirashi is about choosing country over self, even when everything personal falls away. Painted in 1899, the Japanese footbridge and the Water Lily pool captures the heart of Monet's garden at Giverny, a world he didn't just paint, but carefully designed, planted, and lived within. By this time, Monet was nearly 60, his eyesight beginning to fail, yet his vision had never been clearer. He transformed a swampy pond into a water garden inspired by Japanese prints, planting lilies, building this footbridge and painting it again and again. Light dances across the water. His brushwork is loose but intentional, colours ripple, shadows shift. The lilies float in a mirror of sky and leaf. More than a landscape, this painting is an invitation to slow down, to feel light, water, and time pass gently by, just as Monet saw it from his own garden in perfect stillness. This is The Death of Decius Mus by Peter Paul Rubens, painted around 1616. At the heart of the chaos, a Roman consul falls, not in fear, but in sacrifice. Decius Mus, struck by a spear, leans back on his white horse, eyes lifted toward the sky. His body is failing, but his vow holds. He has given himself to the gods so Rome might triumph. Around him, battle surges like a storm. Horses rear and soldiers clash, red cloaks and silver armor flashing through smoke and dust. A standard bearer presses forward behind him, golden eagle raised like a promise. Rubens captures the violence of war, but also its still, tragic soul. In the midst of movement, one moment lingers. The calm of a man who chooses to die for what he believes to be something greater. Today, this painting hangs in the Liechtenstein Garden Palace in Vienna, a monument to courage, devotion, and the quiet power of a single, unwavering act. This is The Entombment of Christ by Caravaggio, painted around 1603 for the Chiesa Nuova in Rome. Two men bear the weight of Christ's lifeless body. Nicodemus at his feet, gripping tightly, and John at his shoulders, straining under the weight. Christ's hand dangles downward, fingers brushing a cold grey stone. That stone isn't just a tomb, it's an altar, a symbol of sacrifice. Above them, Mary Magdalene and Mary of Clopas mourn in motion, their gestures caught mid-cry. The Virgin Mary stands still, older than we are used to seeing her, worn, grieving, her arms raised not in protest but in quiet surrender. Caravaggio's light slices through the scene like revelation, touching flesh, fabric, and stone, yet leaving deep shadows behind. There is no glow, no divine radiance, only the physicality of death and the ache of those left behind. Christ's body forms a diagonal line that draws our eyes downward into the tomb, into the weight of what's been lost and what is to come. The figures lean forward too, as if pressing the moment toward us. Now housed in the Vatican museums, this masterpiece is one of Caravaggio's most haunting. It strips away the distance between sacred and human and leaves us face to face with grief, sacrifice, and the piercing beauty of truth. This is Las Meninas by Diego Velázquez, painted in 1656. At first, it feels like a snapshot, a moment caught in passing. In the center stands the young Infanta Margarita, lit like a pearl in the shadowed room. Her ladies-in-waiting lean toward her. A dwarf, a mastiff, a quiet hum of courtly life surrounds her. But keep looking, and things begin to shift. Velázquez himself stands at the canvas, brush in hand, painting us. A mirror on the back wall catches a reflection. The king and queen. Are they watching? Are they being painted? Are we in their place? This is more than a portrait. It's a puzzle of presence and perception, reality and illusion. Velázquez turns the act of painting into a question. Who sees and who is seen? Hung in the Prado Museum in Madrid, Las Meninas remains one of the most mysterious and masterful works in Western art. A quiet explosion of gaze, power, and the painter's invisible hand. Welcome to the Louvre. Not just the most visited museum in the world, but a former royal palace turned temple of art. The pyramid? That's modern. Designed by I.M. Pei in 1989. A bold gesture in the middle of 12th century stone. People argued over it. Now it's iconic. Inside? Over 35,000 works on display. You'd need months to see it all. And even then, you'd still miss something. Because the Louvre isn't just a museum, it's a labyrinth of beauty, conquest and power. Yes, she's here. Behind glass, behind a crowd, always watching. But the Louvre is more than Mona Lisa's smile. There's the winged victory of Samothrace, rising like a figurehead above a marble staircase. The Venus de Milo, graceful and unknowable. Liberty leading the people, charging forward in a cloud of revolution. Every corner holds a story of empires, of invention, of human hands trying to capture something eternal. The Louvre is more than a collection. It's a living memory of what we've made, what we've lost, and what we still long to understand. It's not a painting on canvas. It's a wall. And not just any wall, but a monastery dining hall in Milan where Leonardo da Vinci painted The Last Supper in the late 1490s. It captures a single moment. One of you will betray me. And everything ripples outward. Hands raised, eyes wide, bodies turning. It's chaos suspended, but Christ is still, a perfect triangle at the center of the storm. Light from the windows behind him forms an accidental halo. Balance, symmetry, serenity. Judas is here too, reaching for the same bowl as Christ. He's placed with the others, not isolated. No spotlight, just tension in posture and shadow. Leonardo lets the story unfold quietly if you're looking. The painting itself is fragile. Leonardo experimented with technique, and it began to decay almost immediately. What we see today is restoration layered over loss, like a ghost of the original. But the emotion remains. The Last Supper doesn't just depict a meal. It captures the moment before everything changes. Still, silent, and unforgettable. Painted in 1883, Ivan Kramskoy's portrait of an unknown woman is more than a portrait. It's a challenge, a confrontation, a mystery wrapped in velvet and snow. She's seated in a sleigh, dressed in black, confident and self-possessed. Her eyes meet ours directly, calm, intelligent, a little distant. Everything about her is refined, the fur, the gloss of her gloves, the cool blue tones of a Russian winter behind her. She is elegance and defiance. In a time when women were painted as muses or mothers, Kramskoy gives us a woman who owns her space, who does not explain herself, who does not need to. We may never know her name. But Portrait of an Unknown Woman makes one thing clear. She knows exactly who she is, and she doesn't need our approval. Ready for your next? Imagine a radiant light breaking through stormy skies. In 1517, Cardinal Giulio de' Medici asked Raphael to paint this vision as an altarpiece. 3 years later, the Transfiguration was born. At the top, Jesus floats between Moses and Elijah, his robe shining like fresh fallen snow. Below, a frightened boy seizes in his father's arms while the apostles stand frozen, powerless against the darkness. Raphael's swirling clouds and graceful figures guide your gaze from that raw ache of human struggle up into the serene glow of heaven. This was Raphael's final masterpiece. Legend says it leaned behind his deathbed in April 1520, a colourful testament of faith. Today, it hangs in the Vatican's Pinacoteca, forever whispering that light can rise from darkness and grace can heal our deepest wounds. This is the Doni Tondo by Michelangelo Buonarroti, his only finished panel painting, created around 1506 for a Florentine merchant. At the centre, the Holy Family twists in a perfect spiral of motion. Mary turns with athletic grace, lifting the infant Christ toward Joseph behind her. Her body is sculptural, powerful, more marble than flesh, yet full of warmth and life. Behind them, a line of nearly nude youth stretches across the curved horizon. They sit apart from the holy figures, beautiful but detached, like echoes from a world before grace. The colours blaze with intensity, deep pinks, glowing blues, and molten golds, each fold painted with the same muscular energy that shaped Michelangelo's sculptures. The Doni Tondo, now in the Uffizi Gallery in Florence, is more than a devotional image. It's a meditation on strength, beauty, and the turning of time, where the divine breaks into the human world with light, movement, and purpose. This is Herman Doomer by Rembrandt van Rijn, painted in 1640. Here, a man sits still, but not quiet. His gaze meets ours directly, sharp and alive, as if he's just paused mid-thought. Herman Doomer was a master cabinet maker, known for his inlays and fine veneers. Rembrandt paints him not with status, but with dignity. Every wrinkle, every glint of grey in his beard is touched with care. The velvet of his black coat, the soft ruff around his neck, the glimmer of light on his lips, all crafted with Rembrandt's uncanny ability to paint the soul beneath the skin. The background is dark, nearly vanishing, but the light falls precisely, highlighting the furrow in his brow, the edge of his cap, the life in his eyes. Today, this portrait hangs in the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. Over 3 centuries later, Herman still looks out, not as a subject of history, but as a living man, captured by one of the greatest eyes in art. This is The Swing, a masterpiece of French Rococo art painted in 1767 by Jean-Honoré Fragonard. At first glance, it's light, playful, and romantic. But look closer, and the story gets cheeky. A young woman in a pink, flowing dress swings high in a lush garden. Hidden in the bushes, her secret lover gazes up at her, quite literally, while an older man, unaware of the affair, pushes the swing from behind. The flying shoe, the flirtatious glance, and the sensual curves of the scene all reflect the carefree, indulgent spirit of 18th century aristocracy. Just before the French Revolution, Fragonard's loose brushwork and pastel palette enhance the dreamlike fantasy, making the swing a timeless symbol of pleasure, secrecy, and desire. More than just a beautiful painting, the swing captures the playful decadence of a fading era. Painted around 1658, Vermeer's The Milkmaid shows a woman pouring milk in a kitchen, and nothing more. But in Vermeer's hands, the ordinary becomes luminous. She's a maid, yes, but not anonymous. Her gaze is steady, her hands careful. The stillness in the room isn't empty, it's full of purpose. She's not posing, she's working. The milk pours in a quiet arc. It's the only motion in the scene, and it feels infinite. Time slows here, maybe even stops. Everything is rendered with care. The crust of the bread, the worn plaster, the quiet gold of morning sun. Vermeer doesn't dramatize. He dignifies. In The Milkmaid, Vermeer gives us no story, just a moment, full of calm, of grace, of work done with quiet pride. She may not be royalty, but in this light, she might as well be. Painted by Raphael around 1510, the School of Athens is philosophy in fresco, a gathering of minds, not of one era, but of all time. At its heart stand Plato and Aristotle. One points to the heavens, the other gestures to the earth. 2 ways of seeking truth, the eternal and the observable. Around them, ancient philosophers and mathematicians debate, teach, sketch, and ponder. Pythagoras, Euclid, Ptolemy, all given life by Raphael's brush. Some faces are modelled on his friends, even Michelangelo and Da Vinci. Set in a Roman hall of perfect perspective, the painting is order itself. Light, architecture, and knowledge converge. The Renaissance dream, harmony between art, science, and reason. The School of Athens isn't just a portrait of ideas. It's a vision of human potential. A silent chorus of minds, still thinking, still speaking, 5 centuries later. This isn't what Van Gogh saw. It's what he felt. painted in 1889 from the window of a psychiatric hospital in Saint-Rémy. The Starry Night isn't a literal sky. It's something more inward, more urgent. The sky moves like it's alive, thick with motion, spiraling with energy. It's not peaceful, it's pulsing, like the world won't hold still. Beneath it, a sleeping village, calm, still, invented. Van Gogh added it from memory, a moment of quiet below the storm. And the cypress tree, tall, dark, reaching toward the sky like a flame. Cypress trees often stood near graves in Van Gogh's time. Here, it feels like a bridge between earth and something else. The paint is layered, sculpted, almost carved. Every stroke is a heartbeat, a breath, a plea. The Starry Night isn't just about stars, it's about loneliness, wonder, and the ache of being alive. A night sky that doesn't watch you sleep, it keeps you awake. This is the Arnolfini Portrait, painted by Jan van Eyck in 1434. At first glance, it looks like a quiet moment, a man and woman holding hands in a richly decorated room. But this painting is anything but simple. These two are believed to be Giovanni di Niccolao Arnolfini, a wealthy Italian merchant, and his wife. Is this a wedding portrait? A memorial? A legal contract? Art historians are still debating. And then there's the mirror. Tiny, round, and incredibly detailed. Look closely, and you'll see two more figures reflected inside it. One of them might be Van Eyck himself. Everything in this painting means something. The single lit candle, symbol of presence or perhaps divine witness. The dog, loyalty, the bed in her heavy green dress, fertility, or wealth, or both. And just above that mirror, Van Eyck's signature. Like a visual mic drop, the artist signing not just a painting, but a moment in time. The Arnolfini portrait isn't just a portrait, it's a coded message, a legal document, a slice of 15th century life, and a reminder that even the stillest moments can hold entire worlds. The Mona Lisa, possibly the most famous painting in the world, and definitely the queen of mysterious smiles. Painted by Leonardo da Vinci around 1503, this portrait of Lisa Gherardini, a merchant's wife, has captivated viewers for over 500 years. But what makes her smile so enigmatic? Some say it's the secret behind her expression changing depending on where you look. Thanks to Da Vinci's genius use of sfumato, a technique of blending colours and shadows, her smile seems to flicker between playful and reserved. Another cool fact: the Mona Lisa was stolen from the Louvre in 1911. The thief, Vincenzo Peruggia, believed the painting belonged in Italy. The heist made the painting an overnight global celebrity. And don't forget the background: a dreamy, almost surreal landscape with winding paths and misty mountains, adding to the painting's timeless allure. So next time you see the Mona Lisa, remember, it's not just a portrait. It's a 500-year-old mystery wrapped in oil paint and a masterpiece of subtlety and skill. Who knew a smile could be so famous? Ready for your next art history lesson? Follow and like for more.